Good to see you, Kim. Heading to Legion of Honor.
Alright, so it's Waymo time again. It is dark o'clock. It's around 6:30 in the morning, 7:15. Again will be sunrise, and today my first client is not until 9:30, so I have a little more time. So we are going to Mile Rock Beach today for the sunrise. I thought about skipping the Waymo part for today because I thought, you know, we've already done the Waymo thing and presumably you're here for the beach walk, but it might be windy out there at the beach, and then I won't be able to say anything. I guess I can narrate over it like I did yesterday, but anyway, yeah, we'll do the talkie thing in the car. So I have a new book out. It's called Booze to Balance, a chill 30-day liver healing program, and it's basically a little love note to your liver. So my books are usually about helping to empower people to take simple steps, simple doable things that they can do for themselves, in their own life, for their own health. And on the surface, I think, you know, people might think I do that because my day job is as a health practitioner, but that's not really why I do it. I really do it because I want to help people, like I said, to feel empowered in their life, to go for what they want to do the things they want to do. And in my experience, how do I say this? In my experience, it's not really enough to mentally want something, or to say, you know, to do your affirmations, or to, you know, wish or dream or whatever. You have to do the things, but it's not easy to do the things because most of what we do is completely unconscious. You know, so how do you change your unconscious? A lot of your unconscious is in your body. So I find that, like, the body is the sneaky back door to help change your outer life. You know what I mean? And it's something that doesn't make any sense unless and until you actually do it. You have to physically do things with your body, and that's not always like exercise. It can be exercise, but not always. I mean, it can be diet, you know, but not always. It's just physical things, because we live in a physical world, and I'm not saying that everything is physical. 100%. I do believe that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and you know, but we do live in the physical world, and we do live inside of our bodies. These are the vehicles we're stuck with this time around. So it's like the simplest path to making changes. So anyway, like these morning beach walks really saved my life in a way. You know, I've talked about this in one of my books. A few years ago, things were not going so well in the business and stuff, and I thought I would have to leave San Francisco, because, as you know, it's really expensive here, and I thought I would be squeezed out, because I'm a super extreme introvert, and I don't I can't do housemates. I'm not doing it. So I thought I'd have to leave the city, and when I thought about that, when I thought about, you know, what's gonna be like to have to leave the city, I became so sad about the prospect of being far away from the ocean. I really love the ocean, but then at the time I thought, if you love it so much, why don't you ever go there? I hardly ever went there. You know, I was always working or something. There was always an excuse to not go there. Right now we're passing my old college. We're passing USF, University of San Francisco, and we're coming up on the church, St. Ignatius Church. And right across the street from the church, we're about to, well, we're at a red light now, but across the street from the church, yeah, right there, is the Carmelite convent, and that is where, when I went to USF, I used to go to morning mass. I used to go to morning mass every day at like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, right there in that little Carmelite chapel. Yep, I was that kid. I was probably the only kid who went to morning mass every day. For a hot second, I thought I would become a Carmelite nun, and actually my mom is a third order Carmelite nun. So anyway, sidetrack. Yeah, so when I thought I'd have to leave the city, I was sad to be away from the ocean, because when I lived inland, when I lived in Atlanta for a few years, every day I would look and towards the horizon and be like, there's an ocean over there somewhere. I just love being near the ocean, and I felt so stupid for having taken it for granted all those years. So anyway, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna have to say goodbye to this city and this ocean, I'm gonna go for a sunrise walk on the beach and say my goodbyes or whatever. So, you know, I went out and took a big long sunrise walk by the beach, and it was amazing. It was so beautiful. I felt so energized. It was such a precious experience that I was like, that was amazing. I'm doing it again tomorrow. So I did it tomorrow, and it was amazing. It was like, oh my God, it's the same beach, but it's not the same beach. That was amazing, and I felt great, and it energized me. I had a great day, and then I did it another tomorrow, and then I did it another tomorrow, and the tomorrows stacked up. And the crazy thing was, as my internal condition changed and became more positive and energized and grounded, my external conditions started to change as well. And, you know, here we are six whatever years later, and I'm still in San Francisco. I'm in a more lovely apartment, and I would say I'm basically going strong. You know, sometimes there's challenging times. You know, when you're self-employed, it can be dicey sometimes, but whatever. But just making that one little change of getting up with the sunrise and going out for my little ocean walk, that made such a difference. And even if someone had told me that would make a difference, it's just not the same thinking about something in your head versus your body going through the experience. You know, most of what we do is completely unconscious. I'm not all the way on board, but I'm a lot on board with the neurologist, I think it's Robert Sapolsky, who believes that there's no such thing as free will. He believes that everything is like happening under the hood, cause and effect. And I don't know about 100%, but a lot. So So starting with simple things with the body can really help nudge you into a different direction, into a better direction. If there's something going on in your life, that some condition that you're really tired of, that you want to change it, you have to interrupt the pattern. You have to change something about yourself. Not anything fundamentally about becoming someone you're not, because you are who you are. But you need to change something about the pattern, so that your body can do something different. And that pattern interruption can be something as simple as getting your ass out of bed before the sun comes up and going out and greeting it somewhere. And if you have nowhere nice to go to, I don't know. Unless you're in prison or something, there's somewhere nice to see the sunrise. Even if it's a bunch of concrete or flat with no landscape or whatever, the sunrise is always beautiful and peaceful. And maybe you're not a morning person. Okay. Then go out whenever it's your time. I don't know, but you have to do something different. So anyway, my different thing was the morning beach thing. And I know that some people think, oh, it's so easy for you, Dr. Kim, because blah blah blah. I don't know what people think, but it's not easy. I mean, it's sort of easy because it's a habit now to get up and all that, but I didn't come from a super supportive starting point. Everybody has trauma, nobody gets through this life without it. That's just the human condition. I grew up, the message I heard from my dominant parent was that I was not smart enough, that this parent loved to say to me, if I had a dream or whatever, people like us don't make it. That was their thing. And when they said people like us don't make it, they meant people who are not born with any kind of like generational wealth or privilege or social connections or whatever. So they would essentially be like, yeah, that's a stupid dream. People like us don't make it. Get a real job. And it wasn't like from their perspective, it wasn't a cruel thing. It was wanting to instill a sense of practicality. I think they didn't want me to be hurt and disappointed in life. So that was how they knew to do it. And it might be an Asian parent thing. I don't know. I remember when I was like around 7 years old. You know how little kids are sort of cute no matter what. So I was at my white grandparents' house, and it was Christmas or something, and everybody was being, like, oh, Kim, you're so cute, or whatever they would say to little me. And I remember my Asian parent taking me aside into a little bedroom and saying to me, so these white people are they're very superficial people. They're not authentic people. So So when they tell you that you are pretty or anything like that, just know that it's not true, that because you're not. And so when superficial people say things like this, don't take it in. It doesn't mean anything, and I just want you to know that. So you know, I looked at this parent and I remember just, you know, not wanting to be emotional or anything, and I just remember looking at them and saying, yeah, I know, duh, you know, trying to be cool as a cucumber. And then they left, and then I was still in that room, and I just remember like face planting on the bed and crying my little eyes out, because I thought, holy shit, if my own parent thinks that I'm I don't know, ugly or whatever, what the fuck hope do I have in this world? So I kind of, you know, wanted to die and vanish and whatever, but I didn't. So you know, eventually over the years, it's like, okay, well, if I'm not gonna vanish into a little dark pit, if I have to be alive, then I may as well move towards the things that I would prefer. And if it doesn't work out, oh well, it doesn't work out. What's the difference? But if it does work out, that would be awesome. And so I think a lot of my life, a lot of the successful parts of my life really have come from just making little moves towards what I want. Just little moves, because sometimes you don't have much energy. Sometimes you feel discouraged, but just make a little move. And if you don't know what to move to, just, I don't know, look at a map and see which way is east, and see where you can go for a decent view of the sunrise, and go. And I just saw a glimpse of the east out the window here, and it's a bit foggy again, so we might not see any much of a sunrise today. Oh well. Guess what? We're still gonna see some cool shit, and it's gonna be beautiful no matter what. So yeah, we're going to Mile Rock Beach.
Don't forget your phone, keys, or wallet. There are more drop-off options in the app.
The route that we're taking is, I decided to take the path by the Legion of Honor. So we're gonna be up by the Legion of Honor. This is the golf course on the right. That's a public golf course. I'm not a golfer, but I appreciate that there is a public golf course in the city here. Sometimes I see coyotes out there on the golf course. There's a couple of different ways to access Mile Rock Beach. The other way is from near Sutro Baths, so we might go there on the way home. But yeah, we're getting out here at the Legion of Honor.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
I am not content creator confident enough to talk at my camera by myself when there's people around. So that's why I might go quiet at weird moments. Yeah, so we're just going down the side parking lot behind the Legion of Honor. That's where we get to the trailhead that will take us to the Land's End Trail that will take us to Mile Rock Beach. That up there is the VA hospital. There's also a little trail behind the VA hospital that will lead you to this parking lot, so that's another way that you could come and access this trail. It's a really cute little trail towards the top there. You can see over there the nice pink colors in the sky. Sometimes I like to be at the beach right around now when it's colored like that, so if I aim for that I have to be here when it's dark. So if it's dark when I'm here, then I usually will bring my headlamp. It is pretty spooky in the dark, but it's pretty safe. Morning dark attracts a very different crowd than nighttime dark. All right, and here we are. It's the El Camino del Mar Trail. This trail was just renovated, updated, spruced up in the last year or so. So the stairs were a lot sketchier a year ago, but they're all refreshed. And yeah, I love how, if you come here really early, you can really have that illusion that you're in the woods somewhere farther away and not in the middle of a city. Super peaceful. People say that California has no seasons, but I mean, you can tell it's winter, right? I mean, look at those trees. Although, yeah, there's still a lot of green. I mean, I feel like in California, something new is always growing. It's always springtime for something, even if it's winter for something else. Last week when I was here, right here, I saw 3 coyotes, but today looks like no coyotes. Yep, it's a lot of stairs. Wait till we have to come back up them. Oof. A couple of times I've seen a skunk right here. That was pretty cute. So yeah, we do have a little bit of wildlife in the city. Okay, do you want to see a scene of tragedy? We're about to visit a tragic scene. See this tragic tree fall? But that's not even the tragic part I'm talking about. Yeah, you can see the remains of the tree down the hill. That was my favorite tree once upon a time. It fell last year in a storm. I made a video about it, actually. Maybe I'll tag the video at the end of this one. It was called the picture frame tree, and it was pretty popular. Sometimes there would be literally a line of people waiting to take a picture at the tree. But since I'm usually here in the morning at the ass crack of dawn, I usually have the tree all to myself. So it was pretty special to me. This beach is never crowded, really. I mean, I guess in the middle of a sunny day it could get crowded-ish, but as you can see, it's kind of a pain to get to. So that is key for introvert-friendly locations. Okay, time for a nose blowing break, sorry. And yeah, here we are, one of the most beautiful beaches in San Francisco, and we are the only people here. And look at that gorgeous light. So as you can hear, this is a really rocky beach. Even on the sunniest and warmest of days, this beach is never, ever, ever, ever an appropriate beach to go into the water, because it's rocky and it'll kill you. It's cold and the tide will pull you out, and you're just going to get smashed against rocks, and you can't see it because it's winter and the tide is a little high, but most of those rocks are covered with really sharp mussels, so you would also get just probably torn up by getting smashed against rocks covered with sharp mussels. So it's not that kind of a beach, but it's a beautiful beach. And there's still a fair amount of sand right here. I know you may be thinking, what do you fucking do, sand on a beach? But a lot of times in the winter, the sand actually gets washed out. It's just a bunch of rocks, and you can hardly walk anywhere. Sometimes the rocks, sometimes sometimes the rocks, like the rock sand border goes closer to the stairs than you would expect. But right now, there's still a lot of sand on this beach. And sometimes the sand disappears like overnight. It sounds crazy, but a couple years ago, I came to this beach and it was lovely, and I was like, oh, that was lovely. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. And I came back the tomorrow, and the fucking sand was gone. And I thought it was just me being, I don't know, universe jumping, timeline jumping or something. But then I saw a guy coming down the stairs with his artist pad and easel and stuff, because he was gonna sit on the beach and sketch some pictures, and he just stood there with his mouth open like, where's the sand? So I knew that I was not the only one who was expecting sand, and then there was only rocks. It's crazy. So yeah, it's falling tide. The moon is still about a half moon, so the tides are not super crazy right now. But it is kind of high. We can't walk very far. You see that big rock in the distance? That one in the center? So in the summertime, super low tides, you can walk all the way to that rock and even a little bit climb onto it. Sometimes people fish off of it, but yeah, that's not going to happen in the wintertime. And we're not going to be able to walk very far today. Remnants of Mile Rock Lighthouse, so it still has a blinky light on it, and it has a helicopter pad on top, a helipad. But once upon a time, it used to have a whole ass tall wedding cake looking lighthouse, which looks super cool and fun, but I hear it was actually cold and depressing and lonely. Lots and lots of shipwrecks off of this coast. I read a little placard somewhere that said there's like, you know, like 300 shipwrecks off of this coast. Not 300 right here in the immediate bay. But there's a few. I think there's about eight ships somewhere under the water. You can see part of them. When we walk back, I'll show you part of one of them, but you can't really tell that it's a ship unless you know what you're looking at. Allegedly, you can see one or two from where we're standing, but only at the really low tide, and I've never exactly identified them because at this point they just look like rocks. Yeah, I could stand here forever. Watch waves. Way in the distance, I don't know if the camera shows it, there's a little blinky light in the far distance. That is Point Bonita Lighthouse, and that's a really beautiful lighthouse to visit if you ever get a chance. idea how much of my little story time was preserved or not preserved, so sorry about that. Now I feel justified in staying here a bit longer so that you're not cheated of your beach time. There's still nobody else here, which is kind of amazing. It's 7:30 a.m. Usually after 7 is when people become more active. But it does take... Oh look, there's some pelicans. Pelicans are mostly summertime birds, so there's only a few of them here. Anyway, it takes about 20 minutes to get down to the beach from the main, the various trailheads, the main parking lots and all that stuff. So people start going up there around 7, and pretty soon they'll be coming down to the beach. You know, a few of those early birder type people. Solitude here for another second. I don't know if you can see, but way out there is a boat. I think it's probably a fishing boat, but there's a website called marinetraffic.com, and it's a super cool website. It tracks like all the boats, all the big boats that are out there. So if you're curious like what a boat is, you can go to marinetraffic.com and like find where you are on the map, and then it'll show you all the boats in the vicinity, and then you can like click on the boat that you're looking at, and it'll show you like a picture of the boat and the name of the boat and where it came from and where it's going and what that kind of boat is typically used for. It's really cool. I actually learned a lot about the boats that come and go through the San Francisco Bay, thanks to that app. Go stand on that cliff overlook thing up there. Okay, let's do it. I have not seen a coyote here, but I have seen coyote tracks, and a couple times I've smelled a coyote here. So that means that I've been very, very close to one, but they were hiding. That's a bit weird, huh? When you know you can smell it. That's weird. Sometimes when it's dark, I'm scared of mountain lions jumping out, but there are no mountain lions in the city. There have been, but it's exceedingly rare. So we could go up the stairs, but I'm gonna take this side dirt path. This is the former home of the labyrinth. For many years, there was a beautiful labyrinth up here, but someone hates it and kept pushing it off the cliff, and that's why we can't have nice things. I do have a couple of videos of more pelicans. Squirrel, I guess it's pelicans. Yeah, so I do have some videos of the labyrinth before it was destroyed. I have a video of me walking the original big one, and then a smaller one. The big one was awesome, but also like fucking scary because that trail got really, really, really close to the ledge, and that was dangerous. So we don't get a glorious sunrise, but it's still nice. Too windy. Scared of heights, so this is a scary trail for me. But it's really beautiful. Might need two hands for this, so we'll see. Alright, did it with one hand. right, and this is the only part that's not as fun, and it's going back up the steps. So this stuff, I forgot the name of it, but it is edible. It has like a spicy, peppery taste. And then down there is the scary adventure trail, I call it. I used to love that one, but the end of it got washed away in a storm. So it's a bit dangerous now. It's always been a little sketchy, but now it's really unsafe. especially for me and my adventure Crocs. It's kind of amazing that we haven't passed anybody yet. I think it's because it's cold. Cold for San Francisco means it's probably in the upper 40s. So yeah, nobody really owns winter clothing here, or summer clothing. So when it's like under 50 or over 80-ish, we just stay home. We don't do that well. Okay, I hear people.
But it was not a surprise.
Extrovert joggers, I think. Well, maybe introvert or ambivert. There was only two of them. Once in a while, I'll see a fucking gang of extroverts. It'll be like 15 of them, all loud talking and like running or moving or whatever, like as a swarm. It's really crazy. I wonder if they ever look at me and like feel sorry for the lonely dude walking all alone. And we're like mutually pitying each other. So you see that, well, the water keeps covering it, but right in the middle of the frame, the water uncovers like that rectangular black, that right there. So that's the top of one of the shipwrecks. So when it's super low tide, you can see more of that rectangle thing, which is part of the top of the steam pipe or things on the big ship. That's the only shipwreck here that I can identify because it's obviously man-made. But yeah, the other ones I can't tell because they just look like rocks. There's that big rock that I pointed out earlier, the one that in the summer low tide you can actually get to. Once in a while, you can see some, whale water spout blow things out here, but it's pretty rare. There was one year when I saw a bunch, but I haven't seen any this year. Actually, not true. I did see a little whale a couple of months ago. But I just saw like a flipper and then a few blows. This is a good spot if you like to watch cargo ships and stuff coming in. So yeah, we're taking a different route back. We are walking to the 38 bus stop to get to the office. Dang, that jogger snuck up on me. I was speaking around a human being in my phone. Nobody cares, right? So, way down there is Cliff House, so we're on the other side of that. We saw it from the other side angle on the video I made yesterday. There's our friend, the sun. A lot of these trees fell down last year. Last year there was a crazy windstorm. It was like weak hurricane strength or something, which never happens here, but it did happen. And like, I don't know, 200, 300, a bunch of trees fell down on this side of the city. These trees are old in terms of their own lifespan, but they're not ancient. San Francisco, this side of the city, before it got settled by, you know, white people, it was mostly sand dunes. So these trees were all brought in. I think they're native to California, but they're not native to, like, right here. Did you know a lot of the trees in San Francisco are native to Australia? Yeah, they came during the gold rush. There's some nice fog action. Wow, we got through like the whole block and we barely ran into any humans at all. Kind of amazing. Because look at how bright it is. And it's 8:04, so that's pretty late. I might actually have time to stop by home and put on like a non-sweaty shirt before going to the office. That'd be cool. The Seal Rock Inn over there. I stayed there for my birthday last year so that I could be super near the beach and just like walk out for the whatever tides I wanted to see. Tragically though, my birthday was on a Saturday last year. That means it was the weekend, so the place was like crawling with people, so it wasn't that relaxing. Still pretty. Just made it to the bus, and I'm gonna activate my Muni pass now, so I gotta turn off the camera. Right, that bus was crowded, as the 38 usually is. So, probably not gonna have time to stop by home and refresh, but I'm not sweating anymore anyway, so whatever, it's fine. And at the office, I have a nice fresh skeleton cardigan sweater, so I do the Mr. Rogers thing anyway, and I can just like put on my work sweater, and I even have some clean work Crocs that I can put on, you know, the kind without the holes on it that looks marginally more professional. little weird lone Victorians like that house, sometimes they just get moved to another place in the city. I think there's no plans for that right now for this one, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if this little house at some point got put on like a little truck and moved. They did that to a house about a block away a couple of years ago. I think you can find videos of that happening. It's pretty wild. They used to do it a lot back in the day. Where I live now, that whole apartment complex, when it was made in the 80s, they moved like 8 houses from that block to another neighborhood a few blocks away. Visited the houses once because I was curious. They actually weren't that interesting looking, but not every house can be, a work of art. Sorry, this walk is not very scenic. Sorry about that. I'm walking behind somebody who's filming somebody else's scenic walk. This is the world we live in right now. And I'm okay with that. That was my neighbor, Deborah. She's pretty funny. But it doesn't matter how ugly the scenery is on this end of the commute or whatever, because we just had a beautiful fucking time at a gorgeous beach. So you see how spending the time with the beautiful sunrise at the beach primes everything else. Like, I can't have a bad day now because I already had a great day already. And it's only like 9 o'clock in the morning. See this little crystal here? Yeah, I put that there. I keep wondering if someone will discover it and take it. Nobody has discovered it yet, the magic crystal, but when the time is right, somebody will. Or not. Magic crystal could just get plowed under the dirt when those houses get torn down, which I think they will in the next few years because the city is replacing them. But we'll see. crystal? No, because I'm decluttering and I'm leaving random magic out there for someone else. I already had my magic with that rock. Now it's someone else's turn. I like to go in through the back door just because I call it the introvert door. Elevator at the front of the building is the world's slowest elevator, but the one in the back here is just a regular elevator. Like really regular speed, neither slow nor fast. It's just small. Alright, here we are again. Basically, once the little fake fireplace is on, I feel like that's it. We're on. String lights are plugged in. There's my celestite. It's from Nan's altar case. She's my crystal dealer. Nan is the best. If you want nice rocks, homemade. Gloves, so my tactile is weak. This sunflower stained glass. This was made by another chiropractor. It was made by Dr. Timothy Jameson. And who knew? I mean, he knew, but I didn't know that his passion is stained glass. So if you want some amazing stained glass, it's available. I believe he wants to do more stained glass as he's also in his Act 3 of life. And I think he'll be winding down the So anyway, yep, that's my morning. Thanks for joining me for another morning walk, and I hope that helped you brighten your day. I hope it brought some